Hi guys, welcome back. Now we are going to talk about Power BI. We will go through an introduction. We will understand what kind of applications we can use and how to use them together. Because as I have said and shown you in the last lecture, the first thing you need to understand that it is a collection of products. You're not just going to use one product, but more than one applications. Now I have shown you these products in the last lecture, but just to revisit it, we have essentially tools to develop the charts, perform data analysis, and then there are tools like database systems, servers, which can be installed in-house if a company is looking to manage their data pipeline using these products. So these servers, these database systems are optimized to handle data and to feed data into Power BI Desktop or other applications. So when you are working as a data analyst, you are going to spend most of your time with Power BI Desktop client. So this is your desktop client. I hope you have downloaded it. If you haven't downloaded it, just visit powerbi.microsoft.com, the same URL which I have shared in the last video. You can download Power BI from this page. So if you go to the bottom, if you click on this Power BI Desktop, it will take you to this page where you can download it. And good thing is this is completely free, so you don't need to do anything. Download it and start learning. As far as online version is concerned, which is also called Power BI Service. Now for service, there are subscriptions, and of course if you're just starting out, you can utilize this try free option where you will get 30 days trial. So you have 30 days to play with it. You can utilize this time to learn about it, try different options and explore it. But if you can afford, I'll say go with the $10 option here. If you can afford and go for the $20 option, then you will get few additional functionalities. For example, this paginated report. So if you have premium version, you will get access to this additional tool which is required to build paginated reports. So if you are wondering what is paginated report and do you actually need it, then answer is yes. When you are going to work as a data analyst in any organization, I can't think of many organizations which will not take this option, because this is a really good application, and we will talk about it later in the course and we will see how to use it. But to sum up, all reports which you developed using the desktop client or online Power BI service, they are not optimized to be printed on a A4 paper. In simple terms, they are just not optimized for that. For example, if I print this screen right now using, let's say, this page, print this page option here, it may or may not appear. Sometimes margins might, they should be simply off. They might cut off. Some portion of this page here may be probably pushed to the next page. So let's say all these charts here at the top, they are part of first page, and then some of these sections are pushed to the second page. So normal tool, whether you use Power BI Desktop or Power BI Service, they are optimized to build reports and dashboards which could be consumed on a desktop or a laptop or a mobile or a tablet, but they are just not optimized to be printed on a piece of paper. And there are many use cases, many companies who might be interested in that. If they have to, publish some kind of report, there are consulting companies who publish these reports, or anybody else who needs to publish charts or these reports on a piece of paper, they will find it hard to print it using any other conventional tools. So Microsoft has created this dedicated product which is geared towards creating paginated reports. This tool can be used, will be used to create charts and graphs and those kind of things, but this is not intended to perform data analysis. Here the intentions are very different. So if you have premium subscription and if you visit the online version, which is Power BI Service, and if you click on this, you'll get these additional tools. But if you can't afford it, then I'll say go with the free trial And if you can afford it, then at least try to get this 9.99 version for your studies. But if you can't afford these things, you can still download the free desktop version from here without any problem. And as far as functionality, features, and all those kind of things are concerned, this is more than enough to learn Power BI. So don't think that if you cannot afford these online subscriptions, you cannot learn Power BI. As a data analyst, most of your work will be done through this Power BI desktop client. Here you are going to perform your data analysis, you are going to perform modeling, transforming your data, building these reports. It's just that online versions are extension of this application where you can publish it to the online version. So if I click on this, it will be published to my online account where I can go and share it with my team. So for example, I have already published this report. So you can see that I can directly launch teams and work on this particular report, or I can directly share it. So this tool is essentially, I'll say, must have for organizations. They can't manage their data analysis without this tool. But if you are looking to learn data analysis, get into Power BI, get into data analyst role, you don't need it. You don't need to limit yourself if you can't afford it. Okay. So remember, as a data analyst, if you are going to use Power BI, you'll spend most of your time with desktop client. I'll say maximum time, then a lot of time less than desktop client, but still a lot of time with this application. Now you can practically create all these reports using the Power BI service, and I'll come back to this and I will cover this application also in detail. But practically you can do many things with this application as far as creating a proper dashboard or report is concerned. The only problem is if I go here, for example, let me just quickly take this COVID test and I'll show you the UI so that you get a sense. So if you look at this part here, from here to here, this part is more or less same to this desktop client. So we have the central space, the canvas where we can build our charts, graphs, we have visualization and fields. Same thing is here as well. We have visualization and fields. But if you look at the top column here, or rather top navigation menu, this is very different than this menu here. So if you see, we have whole lot of options here, and these are the options which are there only in desktop client, which you will use for data analysis and building your reports. These options are not here. So if you have to put any formula, DAX, which is called in the case of Power BI, you can't put those things here in this online version, which is called Power BI service. You also don't have the left navigation if you see here. So, the left navigation here takes you to the different pages. Here we don't have anything. If you go to Power BI desktop client, we have these three sections here, and you can see these are, you can say, the heart and soul of Power BI. So this is your report builder. This is where you play with your data, you clean it, you transform it. And the third tab here is where you are setting up the hierarchy, how the entire data is linked to each other. So honestly, if you're working with any organization, especially I'll say medium to big organization, they can't manage data analysis unless you have access to these three, especially these two. You're going to spend a whole lot of time here in these two tabs, and these are not available here in the Power BI service. So this is just meant for, you can say, largely sharing reports. Now practically I can finish this part here. I can do the data modeling, cleaning, transformation, everything here using these two options. And then I can publish this data here. Once you have published the data here, then it is good enough to be worked upon in the Power BI service. So if you have processed the data, then you are good. You can build all these visualization here because all those options are here. But if you are looking to build any report from scratch and you haven't done any data processing, then you cannot use it. So it's like, it's your backup plan. For example, let's say you have a Windows machine in your office and you have a Mac computer at home. So you may plan to complete data processing, cleaning, modeling in Power BI Desktop in Windows machine, publish it here, and then handle the visualization part using the Power BI services. So in a nutshell, you can use this application for data visualization, but not for data processing or data modeling. If you don't have subscriptions, you won't have access to these tools, but you can still access the desktop version and completely learn Power BI. That's what I want to highlight. If you don't have access to the online versions, you're not missing out anything. Of course, there are few things now, but as far as data analysis is concerned, as far as Power BI, the tool itself is concerned, you're not going to miss out anything. Okay, so don't worry about that. So in this course, we are going to focus on this desktop client, Power BI service, and Power BI report builder. So we will start with Power BI desktop application for now. From next lecture, we will start using it, going through its navigation menu, all the options we have. But more than that, I'm going to focus on data analysis because it's very easy to learn any tool, whether it's Power BI, Tableau, or half a dozen other applications in the market. It's more about learning the data analysis. You should understand how to approach a problem. The real challenge is not building all these charts. Real challenge is covering appropriate metrics and indicators in your dashboard and charts. And I will also talk about differences between dashboards and reports and where to use one. So all these things are coming up in the next few videos. All right, thank you. And if you are watching this video on YouTube, please note this is part of a comprehensive data analysis course where we are going to use Power BI to learn data analysis. So if you like this video, please don't forget to check out the course. You can find the links in description. And yes, please don't forget to like and subscribe. All right, thank you.